my name is Macbeth, and I composed original music for the Rep's production of Macbeth, which is opening our 40th season. I began sitting in rehearsals, just organically coming up with things. I was listening to the actors' voices, listening to the story, and trying to feel out where transitions would take place, where underscoring would take place, and just going from there. Anyone who knows anything about Macbeth know that it's not a lighthearted tale, and so definitely I wanted elements that brought out the supernatural in the story, elements that brought out the murder and the fight and the fight for gaining the kingdom, and then the militant aspects of the show. I wanted to bring out all of those very specific aspects of this play. So as I was sitting in rehearsals, listening, I knew I wanted to create a theme for Macbeth and a theme for Lady Macbeth, those two characters. I wanted them to have their own theme, and I wanted them to come in different spots of the storyline, and I wanted them to come together at times, and to just kind of develop throughout the course of the play. So when I started thinking about Lady Macbeth, I wanted something very cunning and beautiful, almost sexy, but something that was also kind of evil to the core. So I came up with this melody line. And I very much heard a violin playing that melody. So the first time you hear it in the show, it'd be a beautiful violin melody. And then I wanted something that had kind of equal darkness to it, but a little bit more of a militant sound for Macbeth, since he is the one, the fighter. So I chose a French horn to play that melody, and the first time you hear it, it sounds a little bit something like this. After creating the themes for the show, I thought about different variations I could bring to them. Obviously, the characters remain the same, but they find themselves in different precarious situations. So I started just searching through the keyboard for different sounds I could come up, and for one scene that's more underscored instead of transitional, I thought of something like this on the Lady Macbeth theme. You see it has a more ethereal effect, more atmospheric. I think one of the things the director Bob and I talked about was creating music that enhanced the story, didn't take away from the story. Obviously this is not a musical, they're not breaking out into song, but something that just aids in the interpretation of Shakespeare's classic language. So my role here at the Rep normally consists of being a music director for the various musicals that are part of the season. Obviously this is different, and this was a new adventure for me. It was also new for the theater. They've never hired in a composer to sit in on rehearsals and to organically create a score the way that I did. They've had other people from New York, send in scores that they've written, but this was the first time they've had an on-site composer for a play. So it was a new adventure for me. We recorded it. We pre-recorded everything that you will hear in the show. Nothing is played live, which is different. Musicals, normally everything is played live up in our second stage black box. But I collaborated heavily with our sound designer, Alan Branson, to pre-record everything and to carefully choose the spots that each transition would sound like, or carefully choose which track would go in which transition, which track would go in which underscore, going into intermission, the end of an act, things like that. We pre-recorded everything so we could have basically a catalog for Bob and Alan and I to choose from. Well, creating a score for this iconic piece of literature was thrilling for me, and I hope you're thrilled when you come see it, and I highly recommend it. The entire design, the cast, it's a beautiful show, and I think you'll love it. So come see us.